Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to a very unique episode of CSGO News, guys. And our first story today is very unique as well. I want to shout out one of my good CSGO YouTube friends, that is Skooby. If you guys want to check him out as well, he has several hundred YouTube videos about strictly CSGO, high quality content, guys, not commentaries, but gameplays, top 10s, mashups. If you guys remember, one of the first CSGO YouTubers to ever contact me back and say, hey Jake, you can use my gameplay for your background. And ever since then, he's been a close friend. And actually a couple days ago, he came back with the first launch of his official website, something I really aspire to be, and I really want you guys to check out as well, because I'm trying to make my own website as well. His new website is called tradeskinsfast.com and offers a lot of you guys a lot of benefits. And since he's a good friend, I wanted to shout him out, guys. Hopefully you can check that website out. The benefits all for you guys. If you guys know, on CSGO Lounge, you have to wait several hours and hours to trade. Even if someone actually offers you a legit trade, oftentimes there's scammers or bots that just give you cheap trades and you lose a lot of money through those trades anyway. This is instantaneous trading for all of you guys through a bot directly linked to Skooby's Steam account. It was initially created though because Skooby wanted transparency. He wanted all of his 100,000 plus viewers to actually see his inventory at all times and see what kind of skins he has. By the way, his inventory is very impressive, but it also offers you guys a better method than Steam. If you guys know, Steam takes a 5% charge every single time you try and sell a skin. So instead of selling your skins and trying to rebuy other skins on Steam and losing that 5% automatically, I love Skooby for this. It's absolutely genius. There's no other website like this as of right now. He takes every single trade on Skooby's website down to the nearest cent. Here's the catch though, and here's why I love Skooby, as long as it's profitable for Skooby. So it's a great benefit for all of you guys, because one, it's instantaneous trading, so better than CSGO Lounge, better than Steam, because it also could save you money. And here's how you actually want to use this website, guys, if you want to go ahead and use it. If you have a skin that you cannot trade on CSGO Lounge and no one's buying on Steam, I would suggest taking it to Skooby's website. He takes it as long as it's down to the nearest cent of profit, and that way kind of both parties benefit. Skooby's inventory keeps on expanding. He can offer those skins to other people, and then you, of course, obviously make your money back and get a different skin and trade. So Skooby, I love the guy. He's a great guy. And Skooby has no idea I'm doing this. I just thought the website was kind of similar to CSGO Sell, an actual website maker that I was going to do a CSGO news story of a long time ago about. And Skooby contacted me and said, Jake, I have a similar website. So feel free to go check that out, guys. But now into the great stories for today's CSGO news. And first off today, guys, I want to talk about the Gambit Gaming issue and actually how Gambit Gaming is trying to solve this issue. If you guys do not know, 3 of their members, we had Adren, Mo, and Doja, violated the TWC or the World Championships rules just this past week, as Doja tried to sub in for the Kazakhstan team, and he is not Kazakhstanian, or how do you pronounce that? He's actually a Russian player, clearly violating TWC rules. They received a 1-year TWC ban and also a 2-year EFRAG event ban, but a lot of fans and viewers and people in the community wanted a harsher punishment for them. Well, that harsher punishment has been announced, and it will not be anything significant. It will just be a 1/3 of their monthly salary fine, which is stated by Gambit Gaming last night on their website. Now, people had even further issues with this because many of you guys know there's not many ways for Gambit Gaming to prove they're actually going to charge their players 1/3 of their monthly salary. On top of this, Gambit Gaming not going to be participating in any major events for the next month or so. If those tournament winnings are concluded in their actual salaries, that's not going to be taken away because they're not going to be competing the next month or so, and we're not really sure how big their salaries are. So in the end, the extra punishment for these guys has been 1/3 of their monthly salary, probably going to be a few $100, not more than $500 probably for all 3 of these guys, Adren, Mo, and Doja, but they have to receive their punishment. I, for one, guys, thought it was very fair, and Gambit Gaming here with the announcement, probably the best way to deal with this backlash after TWC and the bad publicity the Kazakhstan lineup has dealt out for them. So probably a fair punishment for all 3 of these guys. And another CSGO news, guys, announced late last night, we had CLG announce the removing of their head coach GrT from the lineup, who obviously over the past 4 weeks or the last month, he's been with the CLG lineup, has not been meeting standards. As many of you guys know, the team's most recent performances, without JDM going to Liquid and Tark going to OpTic over the past month or so, the main things they've actually participated in have been ESL Pro League. They're at the bottom of those standings. I believe they're in the bottom 4 around Splice Gaming and E United. As of 2 weeks ago, CLG was 2-10 in ESL Pro League. They might even be worse off as of right now. I've not checked recently on those updates, but including that, guys, we had the ESL New York qualifiers. CLG not expected to make it past OpTic or Cloud9, but they did go off in the quarterfinals there to Cloud9 in quite convincing fashion. So CLG and the main events they participated in over the past month, especially with GrT as head coach, have really been struggling. They had to remove someone, and they chose their head coach GrT, the former Splice and CLG coach. Now previously, apparently he is now retired. We're going to wait for further announcements from him to see what he's going to be doing in the future. And speaking of Cloud9, guys, I told you all in yesterday's episode of CSGO News, we had Cloud9 versus OpTic in a deciding best-of-3 matchup, and the winner of that matchup just yesterday would go and actually qualify for the 8th and final spot for ESL New York, which starts in just 2 days' time, guys. And very surprisingly here, it was OpTic who took down Cloud9 in this best-of-3 series, went all the way to map number 3, and why I say surprise here, Cloud9 definitely a favorite, this last qualifying championship event here, or the finals event here for the last spot at ESL New York, was not even a LAN event. It was an online qualifier, so Cloud9 back in their house, and definitely favored over this past month. Where online, they've been almost unstoppable versus North American teams. Unfortunately here though, guys, it was OpTic Gaming who took down and actually took away Train on the first map choice from Cloud9. A very back and forth series though, because Cloud9 then took away Overpass, I believe it was Overpass on map number 2 from OpTic, and so a very back and forth series. Those first two maps very close, 16-14 and 16-13, but it was OpTic who took down Cloud9 very dominantly and very convincingly. On map number 3, it was actually Cobblestone in a 16-6 finish to qualify for the 8th and final spot. It will now be OpTic Gaming and SK Gaming, the two American teams at ESL New York, guys, representing America, which starts in just 2 days time. I cannot wait. It's going to be a great tournament, guys, so watch out for that. And speaking of OpTic Gaming, guys, in our second to last story today, we also had Daps announce his official leave from OpTic Gaming. If you guys remember, it was first Stanislaw who's going to be kicked from that starting 5 roster. They then reverted that decision and actually decided to kick Daps instead. We also had an awkward exchange at one point in time between Stanislaw and Daps. They obviously had some kind of grudge there, but it seems as of right now, Daps and them are over that. Daps will be leaving OpTic Gaming. Of course, for a short time though, we had OpTic's very own partial owner or co-owner. We actually had Hex come out and say, we're going to try and find a role for Daps somehow on the team. We don't want him to leave the organization, so he was still a part of OpTic and still going to try and find some analyst role, maybe a manager role, but apparently did not work out. Daps' attitude was not all for it, and his leave yesterday will bring him to the end of his esports career. Although he said he wants to pursue something further in esports, he does not know what that is as of right now though. And very last in the day CSGO news, guys, we have an expected change to the Envyus roster, which has been confirmed already by Vacarm. I call them vacarm.net. I'm going to link their editor-in-chief on screen right now. Follow him on Twitter. He leaks a lot of stories ahead of time, guys, and he's already confirmed this roster change for Envyus, which will include the replacement of Devil by a former Frenchman, or still a Frenchman, of course, by the name of Sixer, who's actually stood in for the team, and he's actually stood in for Devil himself a long time ago in ESL Pro League Season 4, and he recently stood in for Envyus actually at Starlight Invitational Season 2. He stood in for MBK and did a really good job. Now, kind of interesting here for all of you guys who are wondering why Envyus is changing the roster as of right now. They waited this long. They've been in a slump for this long, nearly 7 months, and all of a sudden changing the roster now. Why is that? Especially because this past weekend, they won the Gfinity Invitational. They won the $50,000 grand prize there, and they beat out teams like Mouse Sports. So, I mean, obviously only a 4-team tournament there, but still their first big win since, I believe it was, 7 months ago at the Global Esports Cup, which is on Azubu TV, so not really a well-known tournament there. And before that, guys, it was 4 months previous to that where they won DreamHack Cluj. So only 3 big events, and you could say about a year's time for Envyus, and all of a sudden now, guys, yes, a leaked roster change here. They will be replacing Devil with another Frenchman by the name of Sixer, so kind of a stunning change there. Will this spark the French shuffle? Probably not. As always, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode of CS News. This episode was really fun to make. I don't know why. This episode had such great information. There's been so much news as of late that I love to share with all of you guys. So please check out my sources down below and also the time markers down below to find your favorite stories, guys. Hope you all enjoy this episode. Also, in the coming days, expect both my Q&A video. I believe it's my 4th Q&A video. A really fun one there. But even better than that, guys, expect my YouTube revenue giveaway this weekend as well. That will be announced in a video. So look out for those videos, guys. Thank you all for the constant support, especially as of late. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Please leave a comment down below. Maybe I'll reply. As always, live, love, laugh a lot. My name is Jake. Remember, I like you. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye. Oh, gosh, ow.